When you called me, I was looking at YouTube, and then all of a sudden one of your feeds come up. How was that?
That's funny. In today's video, I'm going to be working on the hardtop and getting that all prepped for body work. Alright, so what I've been doing is kind of taking all the goopy gobs. I missed a few there. You can see a little dot there, a little dot there. I'm going to be using like a Raptor underliner on this. And so I'm just taking all the tips of stuff off, kind of, you know, making it a little bit smoother so it's not as obvious. Now I know it'll be upside down the car. I'm going to do it black. And there's no light inside the car that's going to really, you know, reveal any of this stuff. But hey, I'm here. Why not? You know, stuff like this. You know, just take it down just a hair. Get those little dots. There's a few there and there. Light's starting to go, so I can't really see. Some of this stuff, you know, as long as it's, you know, I took the edge off. But the rest of it's lumpy and whatever. But you know, it's not too bad. And if I do take a little bit off, it just takes off whatever the top is. So, but here's a perfect example, like that will actually stab you. Need to get rid of that. Now the other thing I'm looking at is, see, this is sealed in here. And then I got this hole here, and I'm having a hard time getting that hole to stay filled. So I just found this hole, and maybe I could put a screwdriver or something small in there to like push something up here so I can fill it. The only other option I have is filling this with a bunch of stuff, taping it, and then somehow balancing this thing where this is laying on the ground, you know, at the bottom like that. Let it sit overnight. And that's a great plan, even though I don't really want that much force on it, but I'll have to think about it. Maybe if it was on, you know, like a towel or something like that. But in any case, I got to figure out how I'm going to approach that. And that's what I want to do now. So like it's done with, and then I could just move on tomorrow and keep working on this. I will say that getting in all these edges and grooves has been very difficult. And just trying to do as much automatic as I can, but you know, nothing's flat. There's just nothing flat in this car. So I'm going to have to keep doing it by hand. The other thing is, you know, I put riv nuts in here, and there's supposed to be a stud coming out of there, and only one stud stayed in. And so I'm actually thinking about maybe removing those and just putting some kind of black hex bolt or something so it just goes away, because when you look inside the car, there's a big riv nut and it just looks horrible. And I really don't want to get upholstery and do all this stuff. You know, the version 1s, this used to be just like the under the hood. It was a gel coat and it was all beautiful, and you could paint it and make it look nice. But this is crap. So it's very exposed, and when you're trying to make a show car, it doesn't look that great. So we'll see what I decide, but right now it's looking pretty nasty. So I've been on the hunt for my rear window of the car, and I can't seem to find it anywhere. I've had it out here before, and of course my parts were spread out all over the house, but I've kept it really, you know, clean and organized and all that stuff, and you know, it's just gotten a little bit out of hand with, you know, you get everything set up and then you have to pull it off the car to do other things, so I can't seem to find it. But anyways, people have been saying, you know, you should cut out the hole a little bit more so you have more viewing space. However, I don't know if that's actually true, because, you know, these windows have a blacked out spot, and if the blacked out spot is just as big as that, then it's kind of pointless to do. But if there's any time to do it, it's right now while I'm doing the hardtop. So I'm trying to search and find, and you know, it's really small. It's such a small sliver, and I don't think it came in a box. I think it came, you know, not like in its own box. It just came wrapped up in another bigger box. And so I'm just trying to think of, oh man, I don't know. I just don't know where it's at. I've searched the house twice, so it's here. I just don't know where. I doubt I threw it out with something, because it'd just be a little too heavy to just throw something out. So in any case, I guess I'll bail on that idea. Basically, I'm going to hop back on this thing and try to, there's a few things I need to do. I need to sand all the parts that are not sanded, which, you know, includes stuff like that. Then I need to round all the edges off. And then I need to, you know, go through and still get a few of these areas that are sticking out a little bit to me. Now, you can see like this whole section here is pretty, I'll call ribbed up in a sense. You know, I'm not gonna go nuts and try to smooth that all out. That's just too much. But I'm just trying to take the edges off, so when I'm spraying this other stuff and splattering it on, it's not just all of a sudden like, well, there's a big bump. That's pretty much all I'm trying to do. Just eliminate the crazy stuff. The other thing I'll say is, most of my time has been cutting fiberglass on the edge, which is probably gel coated, at least on one side. Sanding edges, sanding gel coat. And yesterday working on this thing, which is the most massive exposed raw fiberglass, I did get a bunch of splinters and stuff like that. So I'm going to possibly see if I have any gloves that I could use if I'm doing any more stuff inside. Because there's no reason for that. That sucks. And there's things like this that are just horrible and I need to fix, make it look better. So that's what we're going to be trying to do today. Now, I also brought out my waterfall, and this is something that even if I wrap it, I think it needs to be sanded, just for stuff to stick to. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what I'm going to do. So at least this is, for the most part, I don't think it needs to be crazy sanded, but and as I'm saying that, I notice stuff sticks to glass a lot easier than it does to porous surfaces sometimes, because we're not talking about paint, we're just talking about glue. Maybe that's a bad decision. I don't know. We'll see. I'll throw that question out and see what comes back. But in any case, I brought it out here in case I want to work on it. And at some point, I need to get this pushed back down. Panel bond something up there, pull that down. The other thing is, I was thinking about, how I'm going to do these sections and all that. And I think the reality is the body comes off the car and then I do all this stuff. And I really want to do that right this second. And then I reminded myself that I probably need to drive the car down to Greg to fit the trunk a few times. So I think I'm going to wait until the trunk is fitted and the hood is fitted. And once the hood is fitted correctly, then I think it's fair game to take this whole thing apart one more time, get everything all dialed in, and then put it all back on, realign the doors. Well, hold on, now that I'm thinking about that, all the stuff we care about on the outside of the car, making sure this is flush with this and, this all lines up and not just alignment wise, but, all three dimensions. Maybe it's pointless to take it off the car until that's all finalized, because we don't necessarily need to be in the car doing that. So maybe I'm wrong about that. That's another question. So if that's the case, I just need to realign the doors. We get all the Bondo, resin / whatever, floated, sanded, done. For the most part. Then we take everything off the car and then finish everything else. I still need to cut my air vents in and get that all done. So again, questions. We'll figure it out. Of course, it looks all nice and sunny and pretty out, but it's only 39 degrees, so we will, it'll probably heat up pretty fast, so. All right, so I got this in here, and as I was in here and I had the this piece over here, and then I'm trying to put stuff away and I can't get to my cabinets, and then there's no, I can't do anything here because this is taken up, and then I just start becoming like overwhelmed, like claustrophobia type thing. So I had to pull my car out, give me some free space. And it's time to reorganize, because now that I can't find that window, like, it's start over. And then I don't really have a place to put all my sanding tools and stuff while I'm working on stuff, so I'd like to make like another little section somewhere to have everything on it. And maybe I'll just use my portable swamp cooler as that, but it has too many crevices in it. It's not really the right thing. So but in any case, I need to go through and kind of reorganize. I'm also trying to find, I want to realign these doors, and I bought those, I don't know what they're called, but the little sprocket looking washers that have teeth so the bolts don't slide. And it would only be in 2 places, and they're not in those 2 places. So now I'm like, okay, time to clean. I'm missing stuff. I can't deal. So that's what I'm going to do. And then afterwards, I'm going to try doing some fiberglass on this. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to stuff some of these holes. A cotton ball actually might be perfect. Of course, I don't own a cotton ball, so don't know if I'm going to buy a $5 pack of cotton balls to stuff one thing. Maybe I'll just use some of this or something. But something to stop that from just imploding in and not working. So we will figure it out. Look familiar? I found it. All right. Let's see what we can find. Of course, the side I need to get to is crammed in the corner. All right. So I would say about as deep as these dots are is about how much I can remove to open that up a little bit. And that will bring, instead of the edge being here, the edge will be, you know, back here. So I'll have to measure it out and figure out what that is. All right, so we finally got some stuff filled up. This actually worked out exactly the way I wanted to. It really came out perfect. I got some, holes that were basically filled up. I got a little bit of tape residue I got to get rid of, but I'm going to sand this stuff down. And then this one, again, all of a sudden it's 100% liquid, and next thing you know, it starts gumming up on me in 5 seconds, and it just comes out of nowhere. I'm almost wondering if you keep mixing, it seems like it keeps it fluid, and if you stop mixing, it just starts like solidifying if it's in the cup. So I at least jam this hole up with somewhat solidified stuff, and I'm going to sand that down and then maybe put a smoother copy over it, or at this point it's just Bondo resin filler at this point, and I don't need to worry about it, which is probably true. Any kind of small holes will get filled up by filler and possibly even the build primer. So, but of course I don't want this to pop later, and this is an area that would pop, so I do kind of want to make it as strong as possible. So anyways, I'm gonna work on that today, and then I'm gonna see where it goes. The front fenders I don't want to take off the car right now, because if I have to drive it back and forth, I don't want to be dinging the shit out of stuff. But my rear fenders are sitting there, and I do believe the outer wall, like Greg was talking about, needs to be thinned down, or at least kept consistent. And then depending on how I feel, I might actually, and what my supplies are, maybe I'll go out and spray some build primer and see how that's going. See if I can find a formula that works, because that stuff, if you don't thin it out enough, it's pretty spitty. So, and I have a decent amount of cardboard that I could throw out in my backyard and kind of spray that stuff. So we'll see. It's probably only 49 degrees out, so I wouldn't want to do that until the afternoon anyways. Get a better temperature going. And I'd have to do maybe 3 coats. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Sometimes I psych myself out. Of course, there's all sorts of other stuff I need to do in my life than just this. So sometimes I put in a good 4 hours, and then I'm off to like running my life. So in any case, I'm going to hop on this, see what happens.